This is the Alden Report.
All right, well, this episode is brought to you in part by the last Law of Attraction book you'll ever need to read by Andrew Cap. Yeah, you heard it right. The last Law of Attraction book you'll ever need to read. Listen, if you don't believe me, go over to Amazon and read the over 1,600 five-star reviews from excited readers who, after all the books, all the programs, and all the other nonsense out there, finally found a book that explains the law of attraction like nothing you've ever heard before. Not only does it include fun, user-friendly methods, but it's going to hold a mirror up to you, the reader, and explain what's happening in your head whenever you're trying to work on yourself. It'll explain why you get excited, why you even start to use what you learn, and even begin to get results, but then you still quit. This book will show you how to overcome that, and it's going to show you how to manifest the things that you want most in your life. So check it out by going to lastlawofattractionbook.com. That's lastlawofattractionbook.com. It's going to auto forward you to Amazon, where you can pick it up on Kindle, paperback, or even audiobook. Listen, I've read this book myself. I've even interviewed Andrew on the Alden Report, and I'm telling you, this is in fact the last Law of Attraction book you'll ever need to read, and it's going to change your life. So go ahead and pick up a copy by visiting lastlawofattractionbook.com. That's lastlawofattractionbook.com.
This is the Alden Report.
Right. Well, my name is Michael Alden. We are here in Blue Vase Studios. And as always, I always say how excited I am to have my guests. I'm super excited to just be here. And, you know, this is one of my first guests, I think, one of the first guests that I've had that's international, worldwide. Her name is Natasha Grano. She is the #1 social media expert in the world. She has over 1.6 million followers on Instagram. She's an author, she's a singer, she's a mom, and she's a motivational speaker, and she's doing some amazing things. And we met on this little known app called Clubhouse, and we just connected. And I'm super excited to have her here. I asked her to come on the podcast, and she's here today to talk about her life, what she's doing, and how she's impacting the world. Natasha, thanks so much for being my guest.
Thank you. What an intro, Mike. It's such a pleasure to be here. I'm a little bit biased because you're one of my buddies now, but my God, your show is literally kicking ass. It's so badass. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's going to be on another level now that you've been on, because I'm pretty sure you have the most followers I've ever had for anyone on before. You're doing some just amazing things. And for those who have been maybe living under a rock and have no idea, and maybe for whatever reason don't know who you are, I'd love for you to just tell our guests, our viewers and listeners, a little bit about yourself, because you have a really interesting background and you're doing a lot of different things. Tell us a little bit about your background and kind of how you got to where you're at today.
Absolutely. I love that question, because you know what? Who people see me now is not who I was then. So I'll go back a bit first. 5 years ago, I went through the worst time of my life. I found myself bedbound with an illness suddenly after a painful divorce. So you can imagine the stress basically had brought this illness on, from my negative state of mind, from what was going on and this bad place I was in. I'm sure someone's sitting out there relating right now, and I hope this story helps you. That's why I'm sharing it. And then what happened was, from there, I was just given birth to my baby. I lost all my money. I was literally broke and homeless, and it was horrendous. So I moved back in with my mom, and I'm laying on the bed with this newborn. I'm thinking, I can barely care for this kid. Like, I have to give this kid a good life. I'm so young as a mom. It was like this, I've just got to do something different. So anyway, from that place, every day I would find a light. Every day I would find just a few minutes a day when I would start to feel my spark come back. And every day when you start to feel that spark, you build on it. It's like taking one small step every day. And I built on it and I built on it. I use tools and I use techniques to bring me out of the place of darkness, bring me out of the place of feeling alone, shamed, feeling shit about everything that was going on in my life. And from there, I created my meditational behavioral synchronicity method, the MBS method you guys may or may not have heard of. It's taught all over the world. It's gained over 100 million views. And it's 500,000 people have been through the programs themselves. It's life-changing. It helps you transform, because you go to the root cause of why you are not seeing the life you want around you, which is always down to your self-worth. It's always because you are lacking in a particular area. So if you aren't attracting a certain thing into your life, you aren't seeing abundance in this area, you're not seeing financial abundance, you're not living with the love of your life in a harmonious relationship, it's because you have a low self-worth in that area, ultimately. So my MBS method helped me, and has obviously therefore gone on to help millions of others achieve a much better way of living and a much higher potential in everything we achieve. And therefore, it helped me out of my dark place. It took me from being almost homeless to living now in my dream home, from having a lacking mentality and being broke to earning $1 million in my first year. After I applied all this, my first year, I made $1 million in one of my companies. And I built 1 million followers on Instagram. Anything is possible when you know how. And it just took me to understand the secret knowledge that I was so grateful to have found through mentors and online courses. But I kind of read about it. I kind of started to see it, and then I experienced it. And when I applied it is when I saw the change. And so now, you know, I'm a best-selling author. I look after so many incredible 9-figure entrepreneurs and A-list movie stars and, you know, everybody in between. But my aim in life is to reach 100 million people. So I'm on my way. But for me, the reason I want to do that is because this method is so powerful. I want to be able to teach as many people as I can how they can heal themselves in every area of life. So for me, it's to give you the mic, to give anyone who's watching the mic, someone else the mic, to be able to feel valued, heard, supported, and loved.
That is so far the great way to just start the show. It's amazing, but I want to go back to that kind of that painful moment, if you don't mind, because you know it's a very common theme. You know, you hear, especially with women, where you know you go through that traumatic event with a divorce, and I don't know we don't need to get into all the details, but you go through the divorce and you literally feel like you're all alone. You have a newborn. You don't have any money. You know, and that is, like you said, it's a really, really dark place. But I always hear very common themes amongst entrepreneurs like yourself that they go through that painful moment. But if you could, let's talk a little bit about those moments. And was there? I know you said that you read some stuff and you watched some stuff, but at what point what did you find that really kind of changed your mindset? Because when you're going through that tough stuff, it's really hard to break through. I'd love to just kind of hear about that process for you.
So adversity often happens to people who are meant to go on and share their story. People who have major platforms like myself. I just believe that the universe will never give you something you can't handle, but also it happens to particular individuals, high levels of adversity in different areas, so that we are then able to overcome it because we can, and we will show our audiences and our platforms how to do that for themselves too. And it's if you didn't have these big platforms, you wouldn't know about these healing methods. And that's why I kind of made an agreement with the universe when I was going through this process. I remember standing in front of the mirror. I was listening to Denzel Washington to a motivational speech he was doing. It's one of these on YouTube things, which now I have, and mine went viral. My motivational speeches are just like boom, boom, and hopefully lifting people up. Like I know they are, but for anyone that hasn't heard it, this is the way to jumpstart your day. So I'm standing in front of the mirror and I'm literally in tears crying. And I'm in South Africa and I'm feeling so weak. I got there, I had to see a doctor basically when I arrived. I just couldn't, I was so ill, and I was there for my mum's wedding. I was meant to be a bridesmaid. So I'm standing in front of the mirror and I'm crying and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. But the music and the speech started to get into my psyche. It was amazing. And it started to pick me up. And from that place, when I was listening to it, I started to feel elevated, like I'm going to be okay. And from that place, I allowed that to envelop. I allowed that feeling of I'm coming back. I am going to come back. And I made a deal with the universe. And I said, I promise you, if you help me heal myself now, if you show me how to do it, I will share this method with the world. But not only in this area, if you help me go from having nothing to feeling like I can have everything and achieving it physically, I will share with the world what I did. And I made that agreement with God. I made that agreement and I said, like, this is it. And I'm going to do that. And I've gone on to do that, 5 years later. But when I was going through that adversity, like in answer to your question, it is hard. And when you're stuck in those situations and you feel like there is nothing more for you in this world and you feel so low, or maybe you're just stuck in corporate America and you want to get out and transition to being an entrepreneur and you want to take that step, that it's all about your self-belief. It's all about what you think about yourself and taking inspired action. Because if you want to be a superpower, you want to be somebody who is super successful and you have the multi-million-dollar empire and you have, like I do, 3 passive streams of income. You know, if you want to have this kind of thing, then you have to take action towards it, because anybody who is already at that level, believe me, they are not sitting on their bum just, hey, watching life go by. Maybe some, we have moments. Yeah, of course we enjoy. But like, no, anybody who, when I look at some of the greatest minds of this earth, when I look at the Elon Musks and when I look at the Teslas and, you know, all these individuals, you know that they have done something profound and they honed in on their craft every single day. They worked on their craft every single day. They put hours and hours in. They wanted to do it. They had such a desire to do it, a desire to help other people. And that's another key component. Is what is your desire? Because if you desire to have a beautiful car, well, how about desire to have a business which serves loads of people, and the business will buy you the car 5 times over? And so I always, when I teach people to manifest, I'm like, sure, you know, come to my program. Every single Saturday, I host this amazing mindset elevation program, which is where, you know, you can learn to manifest everything you want using my MBS method. It erases you erase your self-limiting beliefs, and et cetera, et cetera. But I say to people, come, you know, I'll teach you to manifest the guy of your dreams and this and this, but want something that is going to better the lives of others, that is going to better the lives of others thereafter you're gone. Because if you want something for the betterment of others, that is true manifestation. And that is long-term fulfillment versus short-term gratification. Long-term fulfillment will always last longer. It will always make you happier because it's coming from a good place. So you always want to want things for the right reasons.
Boy, you know, you need to really step it up a notch and bring your energy and positivity through. It's just not coming through. Maybe it's because we're maybe it's just because we're across the pond here. But boy, you know, that's amazing stuff. You know, and you hear that a lot. You know, Zig Ziglar used to talk about that. You know, doing things and not expecting anything in return, and it will come back to you. And you hear this stuff a lot, right? And you know, you and I, like, we obviously have connected, and everything you're saying makes sense to me. And because I apply all this stuff as well. But, you know, a lot of people, they don't believe in it, right? They just think, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's not real stuff. It might be in some books, but you're right though, to be able to add value to other people's lives. So when you're down and out, like when you started out and just to climb and your trajectory is just amazing. That's the path you took, right? So you weren't necessarily thinking about how do I make money? You started to think about how do I impact the world and how do I help other people?
Absolutely. It was all about that. It was, what can I monetize? What skill set do I have that I can monetize, right? And then it was, how can I help other people first and foremost, that is going to therefore return a financial abundance to me, but creating abundance for others. It's a cycle. So for me, there's so many parts here. Waking up every day saying, who am I serving today? How can I help my ideal client? What can I do for them? So I had a social media marketing company, which I leveraged. And that social media marketing company still runs today. Okay. And that's a 7-figure business. And that runs all the time and is amazing. But that has been something that I leveraged early on in order to invest into my other 2 businesses. You know, so you always want to have multiple streams of income. But the thing I will wake up, do, and I still do to this day, is what's my assignment today? What am I here for? I know my why, but help me to show up to my best. Show me opportunities, places, and people that are going to help me take steps towards my goal. What can I do to serve others? What can I post on Instagram? Because that's one of my biggest platforms. So I always think, what can I post that is going to serve them, add value to their life, better their life, create abundance for them? Do you understand?
Sure.
So it's all about them. And then money is the byproduct of success. So money will flow. Just don't focus on the money. The money will come. You always want to make money naturally. But if you focus on success and bettering other people's lives, the money is just a byproduct of that. The number in your bank account is not the thing to focus on, unless you're doing a specific manifesting exercise, and that's a whole different ballgame. But if you're thinking about the collective abundance and how you are going to share in that, and that is far greater than any money you would ever imagine to manifest. When you're thinking about money in this way, it's a different thing because it flows to you in alignment with how it should be because you're focusing on the success. The number in your bank account is not your success. You could be so known and from there create an empire. And as long as you're getting people into your database, as long as you are building that system and you have a good sales scenario, ecosystem going on, you got good funnels, you got good this, good websites, everything's going on in the right way, you're going to build an empire and it's going to sell because your customer will only ever stop buying from you when you stop selling to them.
Makes a lot of sense. Earlier you mentioned this thing called action. I want to talk to you a little bit about that in your book, The Action Plan. Folks, we've been on with Natasha Grano. If you've been listening or watching right now, I mean, she's just a beacon of light and positivity. We met on this amazing app called Clubhouse. We're in two different parts of the world, and she's just changing people's lives each and every day. If you'd like some more information about Natasha, you can just you can find her right on Instagram. She got 1.6 million followers. She's got that little checkbox there. You can see it, Natasha Grano, and it's Grano. You can also go to her website, natashagrano.net. She's got a lot of stuff going on there. If you want to participate in some of her programs, if you want to learn from her directly, she even has an option where you can message her and she'll send you a message back. So she's doing a lot of different things. And, and by the way, when she talks about this stuff, the first thing she said to me before we even went live, she said, Mike, what can I do for you? Who can I connect you with? Let's see if I can help you. And she truly lives this stuff. So she's just not speaking it and just saying it just to say it. She's living it and she's impacting people all over the world. So again, if you'd like some more information about Natasha, you can go to natashagrano.net. You can also find her right on Instagram at Natasha Grano as well. And her book, which is the next thing I want to ask her about, is called The Action Plan, which talks about the law of attraction. It is on Amazon. All right. Well, I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Alden Report. You probably already know this, but here in the United States, investors and big corporations pay between 0 and 25% in taxes, and many times it's 0, while individuals pay between 30 and 50% in taxes, and small businesses pay between 40 and 60% in taxes. What you probably don't know is that the federal tax code is behavior-based. Well, what does that mean? It means if you behave like an investor in a big corporation, you can access the same rates. That's why Nth Degree CPAs exist, to show businesses and owners how to modify their behavior and to access the same rates as investors in big corporations. With tax rates likely on the rise, I urge you to sign up for their next webinar by visiting www.rigmywealth.com/Alden. That's www.rigmywealth.com/Alden. Let's talk a little bit about action, because you said, guys like Elon Musk aren't sitting around. Bill Gates isn't just sitting around. Even to this day, when, two of the richest men in the world, they're still not just sitting around. They're doing stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the next step from manifestation to action, because, you can think a bunch of different things all day long, but if you don't take that action step, it's not going to happen, right?
100%. You got it, babe. If you are not focusing on actually taking inspired action, empowered action towards what you want, it just stays as a mere thought. Everything began as a mere thought. Everything you see around you, every single thing, this computer you're looking at right now, your phone you're looking at right now, everything you see began as a mere thought in someone's imagination. But it's when you align your thoughts, your feelings, and your action that manifestation happens. And in turn, the manifestation comes to volition. But the way that happens is through every single day taking steps towards your goal. If you do 3 small steps a day towards your goal, that's over 1,000 goals a year achieved. Your side hustle has become your main hustle, honey. That whole time that you've put in has elevated your business. It is the biggest investment. It's not a sacrifice. It's a business investment you're making on yourself. Every single day before I go to bed, I write down, okay, what is my goal for tomorrow? So my goal for tomorrow would be perhaps to write my next book. Of course, that's not going to happen in a day. So what you do is before you go to bed, you write down 3 goals towards your main goal, and you break them down to manageable chunks. So every single day you have a feeling of achievement. And when achievement stacks on achievement stacks on achievement, you feel amazing. You are achieving more and more and more, and it's becoming monumental. The book's done before you know it. You're in a great place. You're feeling super pumped. You're ready to take on the world. And every single day you're building on that because you're vaulting over the high bar. You're stepping up every mountain. And every mountain you pass, you're like, ciao, there goes another one. You're stepping up higher. It's like, okay, have you ever wanted to manifest, let's just say your home, and the home you live in now, you can't believe it. When you're actually living it, you don't suddenly go like, oh my God, like you probably, it naturally just feels like, okay, now this is what I wanted is here. It just feels normal, right? It just feels normal. It's the same thing. So when you want something, you take inspired action towards it, then it just happens. And then the goal gets bigger and then bigger things start to happen. But the key here is opportunity is all around you at any one point. All the time, there's opportunity everywhere, every single place you look. But most people just don't have new eyes to see it with. You have to open your eyes, look outside and see there is something new here that I need to look at. I need to take a new step. I need to see it with fresh eyes. The destination, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. The journey there is opportunity around you every single minute. If you wake up in a bad mood, I guarantee you're going to have a shit day because everything's going to get worse. You're going to stub your toe, then this, then you forget your keys. And then the negative self-talk starts. Oh, you idiot, you forgot the keys. Do you know, we say you idiot and you loser, the 2 most common things that are said to ourselves. We naturally have a negative thought process as a human. We are more naturally inclined to think negatively. We're like an airplane that's constantly off course, and the pilot has to just constantly, the entire journey, just pull it back on course. No different. You just got to retrain your mind, retrain your thought process and your brain set to be positive. And so if you're having a bad day, you're going to attract more negative things because every single thing is like negative, and the negative self-talk and all of this is low frequency shit. When if you just change that around and you say, okay, you know what, I can see this is going to head to a bad day. I'm going to take a first step today and I'm going to make this a good day. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to plant seeds into my garden of love, of joy, of compassion. And I'm going to do activities that accentuate these things, that make these things come to life. For example, I'm going to right now do yoga or qigong, or I'm going to hug my kids. I'm going to go play with my kids in the garden. I'm going to get some fresh air. I'm going to go for a run, whatever it may be. These are positive frequency things. These are elevating your frequency, which then in turn attract more good things. So now try going out into the world and like you're feeling good. Suddenly this person's offering you this. Someone on Clubhouse just gave you a free this. Someone here gave you this. Someone like me brought you on my podcast out to 5 million people. You know, all of a sudden things happen. I actually just did that yesterday on Clubhouse, but I gave it away. I still do it every weekend, by the way, Mike. It's amazing. I give away 3 spaces to people every week who have got a phenomenal story to tell or need some serious like advice or guidance in something they're struggling through. Anyway, whole separate thing. But basically, it's amazing when you go out and you got positive eyes and you're feeling good and you just see the world in a different way and everything looks nicer. And so if you are having a bad day, you've got to switch it. You've got to say, no, hi day, hi bad vibe. I see you're here. I acknowledge you. Now I'm just going to go and do a breathing exercise, do my MBS method, sit down. Okay, let's go to the root. Let's pull out those roots. Ching, chow. And then once you've thrown them away, then you replant seeds of joy and love and compassion right there and then. It's all in the moment. This does not take hours. This is instant stuff, guys. And you just do it and you just say, okay, I've planted them. Okay, I feel good. And now I'm going to go on and I'm going to serve and I'm going to go out there. And here's the best advice I'll ever give you. When you're feeling down, when you're feeling hurt, when you're in pain, when you are feeling stuck or stubborn or any negative vibe, go out there and do something for somebody else. Offer a helping hand for somebody else. Help someone. Do a kind deed. There are thousands of people that need a kind deed all the time. But when you go out there and you help one person, not only does it just come back to you because it was a selfless act, you did it for them, not for your own good. Hopefully you're doing it just because you want to help somebody. You feel and change your day because you are taking the awareness off yourself and onto them. You are saying, I'm not going to focus on my problems and my issues. I'm going to focus on somebody else. And then your problems start to dissipate. They're not quite as bad anymore.
Yeah, it's amazing when you say that too, because I had someone, talk a little bit, to me. It was giving me some coaching and about, my story versus someone else's story. And there's always someone out there. They told me, look, Mike, there's always someone out there that can benefit from the things that you can do or the activities that you can involve people in. And it's really, really powerful, what you're saying as far as, helping others. Let's talk. We've talked a little bit about it, briefly talked about it. I know you're doing some huge things with it. Tell me about this MBS method, because we talked about, I'm a practitioner of TM. Believe it or not, I used to do yoga a lot, but not as much as I should. But tell me about this MBS method, how you developed it and how it's helping people, and also how people can really get involved with it.
Absolutely. So the MBS method has been years and years of research and learning and studying and applying. And honestly, like the testimonies we have come in are mind blowing. The transformations, I'll just explain it and I'll just tell you about a couple of people. So the MBS method is a meditational behavioral synchronicity. It's a combination of meditation, ancient breathing exercises, anchoring mantras, reframing of the subconscious mind in altered states of awareness, and neuroscience. This, in a concoction, is literally the way to heal yourself. Like from my personal experience through what I went through, this has helped me, and it's gone on to help thousands of others, of how to get better, how to get out of like situations you're in and just become your best version of you, to actually live your highest potential, to take back the reins. Your reins have gone and you want to take them back, and you want to gallop to where you want to go to, and you get to your destination. And that is what I love to empower people to do. So that's what the MBS method is. It also helps with anxiety, helps with fatigue, helps with drive, motivation. It's the ultimate thing. I absolutely love it. That's why practitioners are now doing it all over the world. So I think of like a client the other day. So this is the amazing thing. So she's 63. She comes to me after she'd been coming to my programs for 6 weeks only. And she's in a really sticky marriage. She's 63. She's like, what's the point? What do I do in this? It's what do I do? I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. She's got a son who's autistic, and she was like, I just don't know where to go with my life. I have nowhere to move. This is completely stuck. And my poor son hurt himself the other day. And when he hurt himself, I just didn't know what to do because he can't express his pain, and she was in pain because of it. She just feels so down all the time, poor thing. And it really broke my heart. But what I love was she said, this is the first thing, the first method, and she's tried everything. She said, the first method that has ever given me hope and actually helped me have a change in my life and a shift and start to heal in a way she'd never healed, and get unstuck and get her marriage back on track and help her son in a way she didn't know was possible. Like that really is for me why I do this. Like I just love helping people, because I know what it's like to be at rock bottom. When you've been at rock bottom, you can, I would literally, all I'm grateful for, like in that, all you can be grateful for right then is your health, like coming out the other side. I'm so grateful for everything I ever have. But what I mean is by the only thing I'm grateful for is the most important thing to be grateful for is your health.
Sure.
Like, without your health, you have nothing. And that could be in many different ways. Like, you could be feeling depressed because you've got no money. Your money is like, another part of it. You want financial abundance, you want financial freedom. And so my MBS method is all this together. There's so many different things. And there's like on my Instagram right now, there's a free program. And if anyone's watching, you want to download it, go ahead and have fun, because it is amazing. It is so transformative. You can understand what the MBS method is. You can do it all in your own time. It's completely free. And once you've done that, you download it, you get involved, you will see the shifts. You'll start to understand, I understand what this is. And then basically I have programs where people, like I was telling you earlier, where people come along every Saturday, we all sit, manifest amazing things. I do a whole session live, question and answers. It's super fun. And it's just a powerful way of manifesting what you want, because it incorporates the secrets you're not taught in the law of attraction books, the secrets you're not taught in the manifesting books. And by the way, I'm an author of a law of attraction book, and I have put a lot of secrets in there, but this is like another one that happened. I was like, whoa, okay, this is the foundation. You got to read that because this is so interesting, that book, because that tells you about the action you've got to take towards getting what you want. But now, okay, I get what was happening, because all these years I've always been able to manifest. I've always been in the flow with it, right? And this word is so, it's out there. I know it's like very trending at the moment, but I just see it like getting into alignment. I just see it like, you don't need this little apparatus thing to do it. You don't need this person to do it. You just need you and your beliefs and yourself. That's it, your breath. And your breath is your birthright. Your breath is all you need. It's just you. And then through that, you start to get into alignment with your flow, and then you attract what you want.
Well, again, in a second, I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to just try and bring in some positive energy, because you really just kind of I don't know, maybe you need some coffee. I know it's a different time zone in there. So I just, in a second, when we come back, I want you to just step it up. We've been on with Natasha Grano. I mean, man, if you're watching and listening right now, if you're not motivated, if you're not fired up, then I don't know, maybe you're not on this planet. If you'd like some more information about Natasha, you heard what you said. You could just go right to her Instagram. She allows you just to download this MBS method for free. It's Natasha Grano. Last name is spelled Grano. You can also go to natashagrano.net. She's got over 1.6 million followers and growing on Instagram. She's got over 100 million views across all of her social media platforms. Thousands and thousands of people follow her all over the world. She's the #1 social media expert, motivational speaker. She's also a singer. We didn't talk a little bit about that, but I saw some of her stuff and I was like, wow, she is super talented. I want to, Natasha, I'd like to just like, if you could give me a quick little masterclass, and the people that are watching, listening right now, like how do you, I mean, 5 years is actually a pretty short period of time to go from where you were to where you're at now. But I want to focus on Instagram a little bit. I mean, your Instagram page is amazing. You have some of the biggest, like not only social media, just biggest influencers in the world have been on your podcast. We haven't spent a lot of time on that as well. But tell us a little bit about how to grow your Instagram, because everybody wants to know what are the hacks and all these other things. I don't know that there's a real hack, but I'd love to just hear your perspective on what you've done and how you've really taken the world by storm on social media.
So my Instagram is something I always get pulled back to, I guess, because my social media marketing company has been going for so long, and it's so fantastic because we have on-demand programs where you guys can just literally grow your Instagram on your own, which is the coolest thing. But how did I do it? And that's what is in those tips or in those programs. You hear about how you can grow your social media, scale your business on Instagram. I mean, it's so cool. I did a lot of things. I'm just going to give you a couple of throwaway things for anyone who's listening right now. So first of all, one of the best things that I did was recognize your value and what you are saying to the world. So that comes again from my mindset stuff. Like, who are you? What is your message you want to convey to the world? Every single post you're putting up, you have to do, like I said before, are you offering value to the world? Are you helping your audience better their life, better their health, and be more like you? Because if you're not, then this post is not worthy of going up. You've got to put up stuff which is genuinely helping others, representing your brand, your business, whatever you're doing. That's so important. Secondly, I use this tip called go viral content. Now, what does that mean? It means where you post images or videos of like cute animals or like memes or like a really well-known quote from maybe a really famous author or a very influential mind who's been on this planet pre us. And you would post that and people would just automatically double tap it, which means like it. And when you get loads of interaction on a post in the first 10 minutes on Instagram, or the first hour really, but the first 10 minutes are crucial, your post will probably go to the explore page because Instagram will deem it as a popular post. And if Instagram deems it as a popular post, you're going to get hundreds of thousands more people seeing it on the explore page. And then you could go viral from that point. You could gain 10,000 followers just in that one post. You could gain 20,000 likes on that one post. Do you ever see like a video? It just goes wild views.
Yeah.
So you went to the explore page. Like, that's super cool. So I would do go viral content while I was growing twice a day. And then third post would be about me or my brand. But when you're growing, you can do that. Once you've already got a brand, then you don't want to post as much go viral content twice a day. You could probably post it once a day, go viral. And then the next day and then go viral. And then you want, as long as it's in keeping with your brand enough, or just take it down after 24 hours if it's not. But I love to put up stuff like about other people, stuff that's like go viral, because it's not about me. It's not about my business. It's about what other people like, and it's going to make people want to follow your page because they're just going to naturally double tap it. You don't just scrolling and you just double tap stuff. It's either your friend, somebody you're influenced by, or it's something that you love and you just double tap it. And so if you want to have that happen to you, then you've got to post a lot of go viral stuff whilst you're growing. Look, it's about seeing it in a different way, horizontally, not vertically. You see, if you grow your platform first and then you inject your brand, you'll have huge success. I always say to my clients, I'm like, you've got the most amazing yoga mat to sell. You've got the most amazing things you want to sell. But where's your audience, sweetie? Like, who are you selling to? You've got to build that platform first. You've got to build up those followers and then inject the brand. That's the trick.
I love it. I love it. You know, I said I don't want to let you go, but I know we don't have a lot of time. But last thing I wanted to talk to you about, because you're on my podcast, and I know I'll be coming on yours in a little bit. But let's talk about your podcast. What's the podcast called? And also, again, your guests have been amazing. I'd love for you to also maybe share a little bit more, secrets on how do you get these amazing people like Michael Alden? No, how do you get these amazing people on your podcast? What's the technique? Again, I think. Obviously, you have social proof of who you are, so that might be a little bit easier. But when you first started, how did you get some of the people on your podcast and grow it out? Because a lot of people that are listening right now are entrepreneurs and business people and also other fellow podcasters. And, maybe they're trying to struggle to get guests. Like, what were some of your techniques?
So, I'm really blessed with the amazing friendship circle. My little black book, if you want, my network is powerful. So I use that. And I love to share it. You know what I'm like. I love to introduce people all the time, where I can. But here's what happened. So I started with no show. So I didn't even have a show. I just had this, I just had like this platform. And I was like, hang on a minute. I'm friends with loads of really cool people. Like, I should bring them on. And so I dived in and I messaged 50 people who I thought would be great for my show. And basically they've all come on now, but at the start, like 20 of them replied being like, yeah, sure. I was like, they're like, what, where is it? And I was like, it's me and you. And they were like, it was hilarious. But anyway, look, you know what, how it went? I voice note people. I'm a voice noter. That's why I love Clubhouse. Like, I just amp up the fun, like be more playful with it. Like, hey, what's up? You gonna come on my show? Yeah. Like, you don't go in with like an essay. Like, yeah, I've had some of the biggest people on this planet on my show. Like, I'm grateful. I feel it's so cool. Who are some of the people that come through? But I put it out to my social medias. Like, that's basically where it goes, and out to my 5 million ecosystem. So that's why it gets such big numbers. We have like 1 million views a show, which is super cool. That's just on the Instagram platform, so when we do it, for me, it's all about spreading that knowledge. Like, I want to get their knowledge, what they're saying, out there to the world, because that's part of my purpose, is to make people feel valued, heard, and supported, and like give them the mic and be like, what do you want to say? Because they need to hear this. The world needs to hear this. And so I just basically reach out to loads of people and I just send them a voice note on Instagram. It does help, like I said, when you've grown your platform and you've got followers and a tick and all this stuff. But when I first started, like, I just basically said, hey, do you want to come on my show? Like, super bubbly. And then when you've got a couple of names under your belt, it's so easy. The rest flows. But you've always got to offer them value first. Never go in and ask for something. It has to offer them value. So when I joined Clubhouse, let's use this as an example. Okay, it's a little bit different now. But like, let's just say that I used the method I did on Clubhouse, but I was completely unknown. And I wanted to go. And so this is actually really good advice for anybody who is wanting to grow their platform, their podcast, their show, their whatever it is. You've got to leverage what you have for theirs. So if you want something of theirs, you've got to leverage yours. So if you go on Clubhouse and you don't know anybody and you want to speak, right? Or you've got a show and you want to have big speakers on. First of all, you want to look at who knows the person that you want to reach, A. B, what can you offer the person you want to reach? Okay. And C, what's your game plan? How are you going to do it? What's the angles? So now you're writing down quite a few things on a bit of paper. You've got some lists going on. Oh, I know this person who can introduce me to Oprah. I know this person who can introduce me to this one. You're starting to build collectively, or you're just going to offer value straight away to that person. So for me, it was about saying, when I was on Clubhouse, like, come on my podcast, come on my show. And in exchange, and they, at this stage it's a bit different, like I was saying, but you want to, when you're completely unknown, or maybe you've got something to offer and people just don't know about you yet, babe, but they will soon, because people like me are around and we love to give the mic to people like you. So it's all about leveraging what you have, leveraging your following, leveraging your goodies for theirs. And as long as you're coming with bigger things, so if you have something that has a 2 million database, or you've got access to hundreds of thousands of views somewhere, you've got to be leveraging all of this, and you offer them something. You give it to them like, you're going to benefit from this, because they are. And once you do that, I think the rest is history. It just happens.
Wow, you are absolutely amazing. I am super blessed to have met you again. We talked a little bit about Clubhouse. If you're not on Clubhouse, I believe it is one of the greatest connection pieces of social media to ever exist up until this point. I mean, I know we got a lot of different things out there, but I just absolutely love it. Natasha is a dynamo on it as well. So if you'd like some more information about Natasha, you can go to natashagrano.net. You can find her on Instagram. You can obviously also find her on Clubhouse. She's doing some great things. I am just super fired up right now. You've got me excited. I just, again, if you're listening and you're watching right now and you want some more information about Natasha, go to her website, go to her Instagram, follow her, make sure you like her stuff. And you know what? If you want to connect with her, just connect with her. And she's helping thousands and thousands of people all over the world. And her story, again, is amazing. And if you've listened to her from the beginning to the end, you understand that, she was just like you. If you've suffered with defeat, if you felt as though that the world is against you, it's not. You just need to literally change your mindset. And that's what she's doing for people all over the world. Natasha, thanks so much for being my guest. My name is Michael Alden. That's Natasha Grano, and we'll see you soon. Today's episode is brought to you in part by ConneXtionCapital.com. That's ConneXtion Capital.com. That's ConneXtion Capital.com. You are one connection away from your life changing forever. Have you ever tried to connect with somebody on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or even Clubhouse, and you couldn't quite connect with them? That's because the biggest gap in the world is the gap of access. It's not the wealth gap. It's not the credit gap. It's the access gap. ConneXtionCapital.com is leveling the playing field, and it's free to join. Visit ConneXtionCapital.com, ConneXtion Capital.com. Again, it's ConneXtion Capital.com. You are one connection away from your life changing forever.